Like, bro, yeah, she got a kid. Look at his back. Oh my god. Alright, what's up, and welcome back to another reaction. This is Disturbing Conspiracy Theory. Disturbing Conspiracy, the New Life Children Refugee Scandal. Perisky TV. I actually just reacted to this guy. He was talking about like this crazy alien UFOs and the U.S. military encounter in Brazil. It basically had like a big air fight, and they like covered up the whole John. Like people was posting on Twitter and stuff. They took all that shit down.
Okay, that's serious.
That was something that's crazy, man. It's getting real weird out here. All these UFO sightings. You know, now all of a sudden there's smoke. Oh, there's this big ass forest fire. No one can see because there's too much fog and smoke in the sky.
I'm like, are we really ingesting like smoke from Canada? Wait, they don't even ingest. Do they ingest smoke from California?
I don't know, man. It's like how big?
Because it's coming from Canada, nigga. Smoke is coming from Canada. You know how cold it is.
But it's like almost the whole northern part of Canada is on fire, and all these fires started at the same time. That's a whole other thing. But this New Life Children's thing, I heard it's supposed to be like some type of organization for kids in Haiti, but they were like trying to smuggle kids out of Haiti illegally, and they have like weird connections to Hillary Clinton and other people in the White House.
Clinton,
you know, Pizzagate, other type. Oh, make sure you bring 7 hot dogs. I love pizza with pepperoni. You know, like it's supposed to be like pedophile code for like different types of kids and stuff they like. You see like these weird videos on TikTok, all these celebrities talking about they go to each other's pizza parties and like.
Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston.
I don't know, man. Like it's nuttish shit. Like it's nut type shit. It's like I don't know. Would you believe that people like Tom Hanks, Adam Sandler are eating children? Killing them, getting them scared enough to have the chemical release in their bodies, adrenochrome, and then drink their blood to stay young. Do you think people are that's some crazy? And if that's true, that's some vile shit.
That's wild.
People deserve to be hanged in the streets, and their bodies need to stay there and rot. Don't touch them. Don't fucking touch them. That's insane. I don't know. We're gonna hop right into this. Road to 10K. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Follow LB Gaming and the 412 Show.
Americans have been detained by Haitian police as they tried to bus more than 30 children across the border into the Dominican Republic, allegedly without proper documents.
We had 33 children from the age of 2 months to 12 years.
I just wanted to share the truth about our situation.
The person that gave Laura our contact information told her explicitly that you cannot just take any child across the border. You have to have the correct permissions to do that from the government. And Laura wanted to make the calls anyway to see if there were ways that she could get children.
We have not in any way trafficked or kidnapped children. We came here out of love in our hearts for the children.
When a U.S. Baptist group recently tried to take 33 children out of Haiti in a do-it-yourself rescue mission, not one of the children was actually an orphan. The Associated Press has come to that conclusion after numerous interviews, and it contradicts claims by Laura Silsby, the group's leader, that the children came from orphanages or were handed over by distant relatives.
We have not in any way trafficked or kidnapped children.
Dark shit.
On January 12, 2010, a magnitude 7.0 earthquake rocked the island nation of Haiti, the earthquake striking near Port-au-Prince, causing an estimated 220,000 casualties and destroying nearly 200,000 homes, displacing or affecting 3.5 million people. Because of the catastrophic natural disaster, 1.5 million people were living in camps. 2 months later, in March, a Haitian official commented that roughly 50,000 children that had survived the earthquake had gone gone missing in the ensuing chaos. On January 29, 2010, 10 American Baptist missionaries from Idaho attempted to cross the Haiti-Dominican Republic border with 33 Haitian children, with no documentation proving who the children were or where they belonged. Since the group, known as the New Life Children's Refuge, did not have proper authorization for transporting the children, they were quickly arrested on kidnapping and charges, causing somewhat of an international incident. 2 weeks later, 8 out of 10 of the missionaries were released after former President Bill Clinton, who was appointed by the United Nations to coordinate relief efforts by the United States, commented to the Haitian leadership saying, "What's important now is for the government of Haiti and the government of the United States to get together and work through this." He said he understood the Haitian government's efforts to try to protect its children from possible child and unlawful adoptions following the catastrophic quake. But he also said the missionaries could be telling the truth when they argued they simply wanted to help the children and did not mean to violate any laws. The judge presiding over the kidnapping case had apparently met the US halfway, but held Laura Silsby, the group's leader, and her personal assistant Teresa Coulter for further investigation. But on May 17, 2010, Judge Bernard St. Ville dropped the kidnapping and charges, instead charging Silsby and her assistant with irregular travel with a minor, marking their sentence as time served. And that day, the two were immediately placed on a US Air Force transport plane on a flight home. So, it must have all been a big misunderstanding, right? Well, not quite. Something seems a bit off about the whole thing. At the time, the public and media opinions on the group's actions ranged from gross negligence to an obvious attempt to minors. But looking back at the situation years later, it seems as though the entire story was quickly dropped from the media and faded into obscurity and out of the public eye. Upon closer inspection, almost every detail about the group's story seems to be a quickly fabricated facsimile, constructed to resemble a legitimate cover story, leading my more conspiratorial side to wonder, what were the group's, or more specifically, Laura and Teresa's actual plans for the children? To save them or to sell them? First off, let's look at the group's stated mission. The New Life Children's Refuge, or NLCR, was founded in November 2009 by Laura Silsby and Teresa Coulter, who were both members of the Central Valley Baptist Church in Meridian, Idaho. The organization described itself as a non-profit Christian ministry dedicated to rescuing, loving, and caring for orphaned, abandoned, and impoverished Haitian and Dominican children. The charity claimed to be in the process of acquiring land to build an orphanage, as well as a church and a school in Magante, on the northern coast of the Dominican Republic. The group further intended to provide adoption opportunities for American, loving Christian parents. When the earthquake struck on January 12, 2010 in Haiti, the NLCR quickly formed the Haitian Orphan Rescue Mission, a group of 10 people from the Central Valley Baptist Church and the East Side Baptist Church in Twin Falls, Idaho. The mission's plan was to go to Haiti and bring 100 orphans to Cabarete in the Dominican Republic, where the NLCR had leased a hotel to serve as a temporary orphanage. Strangely, the NLCR wasn't a well-documented, marketed, or public organization, and the only reason we have access to this mission statement is that a scanned version of the document was found to be among Hillary Clinton's infamous deleted emails then leaked by WikiLeaks. The group of 10 missionaries arrived in the Dominican Republic on January 22nd, the evening before they entered Haiti on the 25th. A journalist named Anne Christine Diadeschi met Laura Silsby, who explained that she had a letter from Dominican officials authorizing the transfer of orphans to the hotel in Cabarete. Diadeschi warned Silsby that she would also require proper paperwork from Haitian authorities, who would have a heightened awareness of human trafficking activities during this time. According to the International Organization for Migration, the increase of human trafficking in emergency contexts has repeatedly been demonstrated and detected worldwide, mainly because of a widespread lack of economic opportunities, large portions of affected populations living in emergency camps being vulnerable targets for traffickers, and due to the crime happening during an emergency context, many cases remain hidden for a long period of time to the great detriment of the victims. On January 22, 26th, the group gathered 40 children and set off from Haiti to the Dominican Republic. They were stopped by a policeman who explained that their actions were illegal. Undeterred, the group continued and set out to collect orphans from the devastated town of Calabas and from the slum of Le Citron in Port-au-Prince. 33 children, 20 from Calabas and 13 from Le Citron, were either put under the missionaries' care or taken by them. And as you already know, they were then caught at the border on the 29th of January and arrested with 33 children in their possession. But wait, what happened to the first 40 children? Well, I scoured every article and source I could, and could only ever find that they first gathered 40 children, were stopped by the police, let go, then that they gathered the 33 children they were caught with. Did these first 40 children ever make it to the hotel the group had leased in the Dominican Republic, or perhaps to the orphanage that was being built by the NLCR? Well, no, because as you may have already guessed, the orphanage doesn't exist. As I said, there's very little public information available about the group's venture in the Dominican Republic, nothing proving they ever broke ground or planned to break ground on the orphanage, but more on that later. One of the more disturbing details that may point to a darker criminal intent is Richard Pickett's experience with Laura Silsby, which in turn gives us more insight into Laura's dubious intentions and movements during her time in Haiti. Richard was in another area of Haiti when the earthquake struck. Due to the immense catastrophic aftermath of the situation, he was having some trouble making it back to the orphanage where several Haitian children were staying that his family was in the process of adopting legally and legitimately. The children were safe, awaiting Richard's arrival, when Laura somehow found out about the Picketts and their children in Haiti. Mrs. Pickett was disturbed after receiving 3 calls from Laura, who was a complete stranger, urging her to allow her to pick up the children and take them across the border into the DR. Laura was told, in no uncertain terms, not to attempt to take their children, informing Laura that Richard was already en route, so they didn't need any help. Tracking was a huge concern at the time, and it's very hard to keep track of people when you cross into a different nation and they don't have identification. Laura was again told, this time by Mrs. Pickett, that the Haitian government would not allow the children to be taken across the border without paperwork due to all of those concerns. But Laura still showed up to the orphanage and tried to take the Picketts' adopted children, telling the staff that she was sent by the Picketts, which confused them as Richard had just picked them up prior to her arrival.
Do you believe that? I mean, what do you now make of this? You've had actual interaction. Your wife has had actual interaction with him.
Yeah, for my wife to have 3 different phone calls and explicitly tell her on each call to not interfere with our children, and for Laura to continue anyway to go to the orphanage to try to find them, to take them, tells me her intentions are not the best. And I guess the best, if I tried to characterize her in the best light possible, I would say her intent was to take children and use them to do fundraising and for support. Maybe it's worse than that, but I wouldn't want to speculate any further.
And it gets worse. Laura and the NLCR had hired an interpreter to go from orphanage to orphanage with her, attempting to convince the staff members to place the children in her custody, which ended with her in tears, apparently frustrated that no one would just give her the kids she was demanding. Laura then decided to go straight to the areas most affected by the disaster and take the children from the camps that were set up to triage, care for, and provide temporary shelter to direct victims of the earthquake nearby the villages of Le Citron and Calabas.
But do you think that's really maybe what was at the heart of this, that she, for whatever reason, wanted to use these kids or show that she was doing stuff for fundraising?
Yes, because as David may tell you if you switch back to him, she then hired David when he wouldn't give her any children and my children were not there, they were with me. She hired David to go from orphanage to orphanage and be her translator and guide, and no one would turn children over to her, and in the end she was frustrated and crying that none of the responsible adults would give her any children.
That she would cry. What do you make of that, Richard?
Again, it just shows that her intent really cannot be the best. If the responsible adults are there taking care of the children and providing for them, why would she cry and become frustrated when they don't give them up? I would think she'd be happy to find that there were responsible caregivers that were taking care of the children. But since she wasn't, obviously her intentions couldn't have been the best.
account. Interestingly, a Dominican man named Jorge Puello worked as a lawyer for Laura and Teresa during their confinement in Haiti. It was later exposed that Jorge was wanted in 4 countries, including a warrant in Vermont, and was being hunted by Interpol for his role in a ring, a role that had him bringing women and girls from Central America and the Caribbean into El Salvador and luring them into prostitution through offers of modeling and office jobs. The case against Mr. Puello broke open when 3 underage Nicaraguan girls escaped from a house where they said they had been held captive for up to 10 days by Mr. Puello's wife, Ana, and another man, according to Jorge Callejas, head of the Salvadoran Border Police. When the police raided the house, they found 2 other girls from the Dominican Republic. The police arrested the Nicaraguan man and Mr. Puello's wife, who is believed to have managed logistics and fed the girls. Mr. Puello, who was tied to the scene by documents at the house, escaped. There were suggestions that the ring may have had the protection of government officials. A car parked out front at the time of the raid was registered to Pablo Nasser, who was deputy director of immigration at the time. So, a Dominican man who had warrants in 4 countries and was wanted by Interpol for charges was working as a lawyer with the ringleader of the NLCR. Could they have been planning on dropping the children off with Puello before they were caught, as we don't know what happened to the first 40 children and have no proof that the group had ever broken ground on their orphanage, school, or church in Magon?
Very disturbing things.
It's a lot, you know.
It's weird. You got to think, like, if certain people think like this, and you're like, what's the best way that I can manipulate events in my favor so I can be able to, take advantage of certain things? These crazy events, these wars, like the war in Ukraine, thousands of kids missing already. Thousands of kids missing in Ukraine.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
80,000 children at the border.
So where are these kids going? And
how do you lose 80? How do you lose a football stadium amount of people? You don't lose that many people. You sold them, or you trafficked them off in these little tunnels underground. You see ships and go to. These people are evil, man. And you can sit here.
That lady look evil, man.
You can sit here and pretend like my on this type timing. These people are smart enough to try to get in positions where they can take advantage of. The people who run the immigration, the people who run these organizations that's supposed to help children, they go out of their way to do shit like this. I don't know.
They just got connections. The world connected. Yeah, man. So they're able to do stuff like this. Yeah, man. The president got documents in an email. I'm like, how does the president got documents about something like way has nothing to do with
some dark stuff about Hillary. And if any of it's true, she deserves to burn it.
Oh my God.
Supposedly there's a video on the dark web of Hillary removing a little girl's face and putting it on hers. And then killing the little girl and drinking the blood. Along with the person who ran with her, Paula something. Supposedly the video was found on the chick that was with her husband's laptop. And then like they just I can't remember.
That's crazy because like it's easy like to say, oh, it's not real because it's one person, but 2 people that look just alike. That's hard to like not.
I know, man.
How you got both her and him? Like that had to be real.
Yeah, these people are nefarious, man. But let us know if you want to see more videos like this. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. See you next time.
Peace.